Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Hey. Yeah. Does that mean that we get to hump or we get humped or what happens exactly on hump?
Really? You went right there.
Yeah, that quick too. I know.
What does that say about you?
She's such
That I'm a big slut. That too.
Wow.
That too.
That's what that says about
Look at Raji's boobs. I can't help it.
Ooh,
innocent me.
Oh, we're looking.
Try not to pull the coffee.
Raji is going to read the acceptance speech of the Emmy that Hose didn't win.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, Lord.
And by the way, what do y'all think about standing on a rainbow pride flag?
Oh, it's not a very savory look.
Well, we're going to talk about that too, and lots of other news. Well, we begin tonight with queering up breaking news. Controversy erupts online as Miami Beach mayor stands on pride flag. South Florida's celebrated Miami Beach Pride this past weekend, and they celebrated the event when Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber stood on a long rainbow flag used in the parade for a photo opportunity. It has caused a lot of anger on social media. As homophobia runs rampant in Eastern Europe and even in parts of the United States, stomping or standing on rainbow flags for photos has become a way to express anger towards the LGBTQ plus community on social media. The president of many of the organizations in South Florida have commented in social media. One of the comments said, quote, "Why would you stand on this flag for a photo op? This flag is a symbol of our community, costs thousands of dollars, and should be treated with respect. If somebody was to stand on the American flag, would you be okay with that?" End quote. Mayor Gelber has since removed the photo.
Wow. As a resident of Miami Beach, when I first saw this photo, I was shocked, not just because of the visual of it, but because I know Mayor Gelber. I mean, I know him, well enough. We've had many chats, and he's very pro-LGBTQ+.
He really,
not
he really is.
It was clearly like a moment, who knows what happened in the moment. Somebody maybe said, move here, move this, and then, but it just shows you the power of a single moment in time in a photo.
Exactly.
Well, let's just say that it was 140 degrees at Pride over the weekend, all right? So maybe it was a little bit of heat stroke and not enough water on the mayor's part, and that happened. Let's just give him a pass on there. He really does come through for our community in a big way. I don't think that he gave it much thought, which he should have. It was a mistake clearly, and he should, extend an apology ASAP. ASAP.
Yeah, sometimes people do something and they don't really think that it's going to be offensive. You do something with good intentions, and it ends up, offending people.
I do that with Al all the time.
And if his track, if his track record is good for our community,
very much
then I would give him a pass.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this and I'm like, it looks so bad, but you also know it doesn't have a bad intention behind it.
No,
we don't know what happened right before and right after the photo. As a photographer, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Of course, the good news is he's removed. I have said today in social media, we were leading the news tonight with this picture. And
you scared him.
And he has removed it, which I think is excellent on his part. I would expect that the mayor is going to say something about it in terms of the optics of it. The most distressing thing of this photo, clearly he's making a mistake. It's a mistake. The most distressing thing, and can we show the picture one more time to production? As you look at the picture, there were like 20 or 30 LGBT people around him that should have said, Mayor, this is a big mistake. Stop right now. And they went right along with it. That's also part of the criticism, I think, that much of social media is reflecting today. A mistake. I'm glad he corrected it by removing it right away in terms of the photo op. Well, welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Hello and thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited, live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and WMEG Events. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and merged, we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community.
This evening, we are going to bring you the news of and a perspective representing the LGBTQ plus community from South Florida, America, and across our planet. I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Al Ferguson. Let's welcome anchor Faye. What? She's a radio and television personality and has the popular and YouTube blog and channel aiming to unite the L and G together. She's a world-class mugger, and she's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate and owner of Faye's Fur Family, and is the anchor of the travel news show Happening Out Travel. And also make sure to catch the Faye What Show Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, family. Hola, mi gente. I'm so happy to be here. I know that production right now, I just blew out their ears. Sorry about that.
And mine.
Sorry. So let's welcome anchor Dale Stine, baby. He received a master's degree from world-famous Juilliard School. He's a well-known photographer and is famous for his photographs of internationally acclaimed DJs, producers, drag personas, politicos, business people, entertainers, and me.
Yes.
He is presently the director of music ministry at Unity on the Bay and moderator of South Florida's largest LGBTQ plus Facebook group, Miami Gay List. He also served on the Miami Beach LGBTQ Advisory Committee for the full 8-year term, along with several other Queer News Tonight anchors. He now sits on the city's Human Rights Committee. Welcome home, Dale.
Thank you, Faye. It's always a pleasure to be at this table. Let's welcome anchor Raji Narayan Singh, a famous transgender activist, actress, author, mystic, and reality TV personality. She is of Asian Indian descent from Trinidad and Tobago. She has appeared on more than 35 television shows across the world. Welcome, Raji.
Well, thank you. It's always great to be here, and I'll just say I'm back. Let's welcome John Hayden. John is a general assignment reporter for SFGN, covering events and political developments directly affecting South Florida's LGBTQ plus community. Before joining SFGN, he had spent the last 13 years as an entertainment journalist interviewing the biggest stars in TV, movies, and music, even American Idol finals and red carpet premieres. John now lives in Wilton Manors / Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and looks forward to continuing to cover our community. Welcome, John, and I'll be waiting for my interview with you.
Right after the show tonight. Yeah. Thank you so very much. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of Queer News for today, Wednesday, September 22nd.
We begin by queering up politics. Texas abortion ban creator takes aim at marriage equality in a new legal brief playbook. Jonathan Mitchell is the lawyer who crafted the 2021 Texas abortion ban that the Supreme Court let stand. As Justice Scalia's former clerk, Mitchell has not only a long history of conservatism, but also a very close working relationship and knowledge of the members of the Supreme Court. After the recent success against Roe v. Wade in Texas, he is now looking to help overturn the Lawrence v. Texas ruling that invalidated anti-sodomy laws, as well as Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized gay marriage. Justices Thomas and Alito have said they would like to see Obergefell overturned, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett has also been critical of it.
Jonathan Mitchell is an enemy. He's an enemy of the LGBTQ plus community, and we all have to keep our eyes on him, okay? I mean, you know, my wife drives me freaking insane, but I want to stay married, and I don't want her to affect that. I don't want this guy and his crazy ideas to affect that marriage, you know?
It just, I mean, I'm just constantly amazed by the party that's allegedly of small government. and how big government is when they're in your bedroom and in your body.
Vagina.
It's just, it just baffles my mind.
Yeah, less government. Meanwhile, you're telling us what to do with our bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's like a contradiction. You know, and really, I mean, think about it. Like the women, now personally, I don't know if I was a cisgendered woman that could have children, if I would personally have an abortion, but I believe in choice.
Yeah.
You know, and so now he's dealing with our community and targeting us. And so, oh my God, what's next?
Well, I think it just goes to show that these people don't have any fresh ideas, so they're just recycling discredited, terrible things, you know, from 20 years ago, or God, it's sadly only as recently as 10 or 15 years ago. They just don't have anything new to bring to the table, so they just try and rile up old wounds.
And I have a friend that tells me that, you know, oh, the Republicans are very supportive of the LGBTQ community. But listen, actions, I want to see action, you know?
Jonathan, to your point, a couple thoughts. First, to your point, regurgitating old ideas works. Let's go back to 2003. The Republicans and George Bush in that campaign made gay rights a central focused feature, and it was just enough to get him over the top, and he won re-election because of it. That's what we're watching now. Second, Jonathan Mitchell is not the crazy governor of Alaska that ran as vice president, is not crazy Laura Ingraham. This guy is smart as a whip. And when, like it or not, as much as we hate what he has done in Texas, he exhibited almost genius in the way he implemented that new law. And now he's taking aim at even the possibility of anti-sodomy laws in Texas and the complete repeal of gay marriage. He is dangerous.
Yep.
Faye gets it right off the bat. We have seen our enemy, and we better not dismiss our enemy out of hand.
Amen to that. Next, let's queer up gay culture. Gabrielle Union took Zaya to Miami Beach Pride on a Bring It On float. Queer News Tonight has shared the story of Gabrielle Union and
It's
Dwayne.
Gabrielle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please don't mess up that woman's name. I love her.
Gabrielle.
And she is everything.
You could have corrected me in rehearsal, Faye.
Sorry. That's how it goes.
And then instead she chooses
Live on the air. That's how we roll. We're live.
Live and live in color.
Okay. Shared the story of Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade's transgender daughter. I'm never going to let you forget. A daughter, Zaya, and now.
Wait, is it 47 degrees in Wow.
And now a story from an interview with Gabrielle Union. Oh, you know, it was misspelled on one. Okay, this is live and real. Gabrielle Union and Power 105's Angie Martinez is going viral for all the right reasons. In it, Union tells the story of taking Zaya to her first Miami Beach Pride in 2019. She explains how she called to book reservations for a drag bingo in Wynwood, and how they invited Zaya to be on the restaurant's Bring It On themed float for the parade.
The R House, by the way. Let's drop that.
I know, right? I wanted to add that to that story so bad, but if I, interrupted Dale again, he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
So there was no way I was going to go. So let me say that
You're going to be like that girl in Northport out in Utah somewhere.
by myself in the cold, dead.
But I will say, in my defense, I will say that in the prompter it was spelled as Gabrielle one time, and that was but it was my fault.
Yeah, all right.
My fault. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You two ready to move on? Where we can talk about the story now.
Listen, so I love this story. I love that Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are amazing LGBTQ parents, like Parents of the Year, and that they were able to take Zaya to their first Pride a couple of years ago. We all remember our first Pride, and I wasn't blessed enough to be a kid and going to my first Pride. I can only imagine the feeling that they felt.
You know what's interesting to me is I listened to that interview. And while I was listening to the interview and she started to talk about Zaya going to the Miami Beach Pride Parade, of being asked, Zaya, would you like to ride a float? It was just total lucky happenstance of it happening. And telling that story, I was thinking, my goodness, you're breaking news right now here in our own community.
Well, what comes to mind with me is serendipity.
Yeah.
The word serendipity. And I love when high profile parents support their LGBT
Yeah,
children,
absolutely.
because I think it's a great example to the world, you know.
We need more.
And first off, I just call her Gabby. So you should, that's always the safe way.
Wow, pick up that name you picked up. Pick up that name you dropped.
I did not want this story to exist. It could be a segment.
But she is just a very warm person. I've gotten to meet her a few times, and she just exudes genuineness, and not just necessarily in an interview setting. I've seen her at events and stuff like that, and she just is real, and the realness comes through in the relationship with her and D Wade's daughter. And so when I see this, I'm like, I was not surprised by this whatsoever to see this story today.
Love it. So next, we queer up sports. Patriots owner Robert Kraft spotted watching a gay flag football game. Yes. Fans were shocked last week when the owner of the multiple Super Bowl winning New England Patriots was spotted at the season opener for a gay flag football game. Robert Kraft has been a sponsor of flag football Boston for years and has been known to come to games occasionally. So the Patriots also joined the team recently to raise donations for Hope and Comfort, a charity that is trying to eliminate hygiene insecurity for youth and families. 25,000 items were donated. Josh Kraft, president of the New England Patriots Foundation, said in an interview, quote, "We're doing the best we can to be great allies, but we're aspiring to be the best advocates as possible for the LGBTQ plus community. We just have. Whether it's religious, ethnic, sexual orientation differences, we're all the same people," end quote.
Wow. First off, most of y'all don't know this. Football is a sport.
Soccer. Oh, soccer, right.
Oh, God, I'm so not into sports, but I love this story. I really do.
My joke.
Wasn't this the same guy that got the happy ending here in South Florida?
Yes.
Right? At the massage place?
Oh, really?
That's the only way I know the guy from. I have no idea. I don't care. And I think John Brady, and I think I like his wife.
I
But,
forgot
you know.
about that.
I saw
Wow.
I saw a news poll. It was an AP
Right.
or news readout on it, and I thought it was implying that in some way he was really gay, because I remember the story.
You mean this story itself implying
Yeah,
he was gay?
when I first read it, I thought, wait,
Yeah.
he's at this because it's some reference to gay.
He's an ally.
And no, he's a very big ally who likes happy endings.
Right. And he wants to get as much good press in as many communities as possible, after that happy ending story. Right.
And I am loath to say anything positive about the New England Patriots, but he has been one of the leaders and that organization, like you said, the whole organization is an ally.
For sure.
And he, I think his name was Ryan O'Callahan, was a Patriot who came out after retiring, and he said that Robert Kraft called him and said, "You are forever a Patriot." So it's good to have him leading the way in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's the only nice thing I'm going to say about the Patriots ever.
Definitely. So let's queer up entertainment now. Emmy Award What Ifs. Pose creator shares speech he would have given had the show won. Many of the LGBTQ community are still furious over the total snub that Pose received at the primetime Emmys. And if you've been watching this week, you know that our production team is part of that crowd. The show was nominated for 5 awards, and keeping up with this year's unofficial theme, #EmmySoWhite, they didn't win any of them. If they had won, as they should have, creator Stephen Cannell shared his acceptance speech. Tonight, we're just going to pretend they won. So here's the speech. The reason I get to stand up here as an openly queer Afro-Latino person is because of my ancestors. In 1969, the fight for trans and queer liberation reached a fever pitch, built on the backs of women who happened to be trans and lesbian, who happened to be Black and Latina. And so I want to honor Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Miss Major, and Stormy De La Vere. And that work continues today with MJ Rodriguez, Dominique Jackson, India Moore, Haley Sahar, Angelica Ross, Our Lady J, and Janet Mock, end quote.
And the Emmy goes to Raji.
No, but did you see how touched she
beautiful.
was? Raji
Beautiful.
did it touch you reading those words?
It really did. And I actually feel like crying because I can just imagine if the show had won at least one award and him saying this speech in front of the world. I mean, it's a powerful thing and it's true. We stand on the shoulders. And one day people will stand on our shoulders. And it's a very true thing. And I think it was so wonderful and powerful, again, I have to say that word, that he would name those people. Name Marsha P. Johnson. Name Sylvia Rivera. Calling their names, they're long gone. But they live on because of the work they did. And so I'm very disappointed because out of 5 nominations, they should have at least gotten one.
Listen, they got robbed. Recount,
They did.
okay? Recount that stuff. That was way too white. The Crown isn't that interesting. I'm sorry, Al.
I enjoyed The Crown, but
Ay,
I
pero,
don't
you
want
know,
to get back to that conversation. But I mean, one could say at least they got the nominations.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
but
true.
still.
But
I
let
mean,
me ask you though, do you think it's because Pose is like one of those like sub type of popular shows? And when I say that, I have white gay friends that I asked, oh my God, like, are you watching Pose? They had no idea what Pose was.
I do have
I'm
friends
like,
that
how do
say-
you not know what Pose is?
It's very niche in its
Yeah.
content, but it's very universal. Once you see it, it's not just about ballroom and.
John, you've done a lot of reporting in entertainment. What do you think about the Emmys and Pose?
Pose is an amazing show, but everything is so fragmented right now. I think there were like 800 different shows and streaming network, all that stuff, that voters can't see everything.
Yeah.
And they're going to vote, and so they're going to first watch the shows that entertain them and that speak to them. And if Pose, like we said, it was a very neat show, then they're not going to get the eyeballs of the Academy. And so I really feel that kind of played a role in it. There's just so much fragmentation, and there really haven't been a lot of events. The studios will, more so for the movies, but also around the Emmys, they'll hold meet and greets for voting members with the stars and things like that. And they weren't able to do that this year at the level that they have been able to do it in the past. And that certainly hurt shows like Pose.
But it wasn't Pose's first year. It was their final year.
And also,
Right.
Billy
Right.
did win. He won.
And Billy Porter had, won in the past.
Yeah,
I think the exclamation point of the Emmys that took place on Sunday, at least from our small point of view at Queer News Tonight, we take a moment to recognize this hashtag that has received worldwide attention, the hashtag #EmmySoWhite. It really does say volumes in just 3 words.
Yeah.
And second, we take a moment to, we're so lucky to have Raji here tonight to be able to read Cannell's acceptance speech, because it is one thing to read it, it is another thing completely to hear it. And I'm very proud of Queer News Tonight and you, Raji,
Thank you.
to be able to do that, because we want to send our respects to what Pose did for 5 years for our community. Pose will never be forgotten, even though the fringe or whatever we may define it as, it will never be forgotten.
You always do this to me, Al.
All right, well, John, we're going to talk about some culture, I think.
Yeah, I think it's time that we queer up gay culture. Can I help you, fags? McDonald's Karen yells homophobic slur at teens in viral TikTok video. Watch this.
Really?
Yeah, really? What are you doing?
What the fuck is your problem?
Stop! The writing on the phone!
What is your problem?
Excuse me, sir?
Oh, Karen. 17-year-old Amanda Kinney was leaving a McDonald's after picking up her friend from work when a woman, who you just saw, pulled into the parking lot. In an interview with Daily Dot, Kinney said, quote, "We were waiting to turn out and she pulled into the parking lot and just immediately started yelling. And it was almost like she had road rage." That's what I thought she had at first, that she was angry that we didn't pull out or something. But then she does the little gay hand motion, the limp wrist thing. That was the first time that she called us fags, end quote. The woman pulled into the drive-thru, and that is when Kenny's friend Ryan recorded the clip.
I'm confused. I was confused because I heard, okay, so she said, what are you doing, F's, but the girl's name is Amanda? What?
I'm sorry, what? What?
Well,
The universal
the
sign
thing,
for gay.
these kinds of clips of these videos of these real life situations are happening so often, they kind of blur to me. I mean, I never go to McDonald's, and this is another good reason not to go to McDonald's, but it's just one after the other. And people are so emboldened to denigrate others in this current climate we're in.
It's so offensive, it's silly. Production, when I came in for broadcast today, production was telling me that they had been doing the joke all day. Can I help you, fags? So you know what we're going to do?
Take ownership.
We're going to take ownership of this TikTok and go, girl, you are so dumb. Can I help you, fags?
Can I help you?
Well, when we say it, it's taking power, power back. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Go, Miss Raji.
Oh, here I am. I got into this story. Okay, that is our queer headlines for today. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight has reported on coronavirus on every news broadcast since January 6th of 2020. Tonight we report that as of today, more than 3,027,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
Queer News Tonight remembers the more than 48,000 LGBTQ plus Americans that have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving because as of today, more than 386 million vaccination doses have been administered in the United States.
That is our pandemic news for tonight. Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine and supporting the partnership Happening Out television network broadcast, the largest LGBTQ religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
Hi, my name is Misty Eyes, and I'm the Director of Transgender Services, Women's Services, and Education Training at SunServe. And Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Well, up next, this week, the Florida Department of Health and many South Florida organizations will host the South Florida Men's Wellness Conference, a dynamic two-day digital conference that you can participate in for free. Being held this Friday, September 24th and Saturday, September 25th, this live conference has many health workshops from leading health professionals that the entire gay community can benefit from, including HIV, COVID-19, mental health, and the latest issues affecting our community. With us tonight to tell us more about the conference is conference organizer Jamil Baptiste. Welcome, Jamir. I said Jamil. Sorry,
No biggie.
I know you well. So,
yes.
Welcome to Queer News Tonight. Tell
Thank
us a
you for
little bit
having me.
about the South Florida Men's Wellness Conference. What's going on?
Yeah, so the South Florida Men's Wellness Conference is something that is incredible that hasn't been done before in South Florida. We actually partnered all 4 counties in South Florida, being Monroe, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, to come together to actually do this conference for all of South Florida. So we're happy about that. It was a hybrid conference where we were going to have in-person locations in all 4 counties, mainly Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. But due to the high cases of COVID increasing, we just turned it into an all virtual experience.
I see. And the conference is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, and then the individual departments of health for each county are also participating in it.
Yes, yes. So it is sponsored by the Department of Health and in collaboration with each individual county. Usually we all have our separate conferences or a conference not at all, but this time we decided to combine them all together.
Yeah, and tell us about some of the other sponsors that are involved. I understand some of the preeminent LGBT health service providers are participating.
Yeah, so we have Pride Lines, Pride Center, and the Compass, which is in Palm Beach. Pride Center is here in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors area. And then you have Pride Lines, which is kin to Miami-Dade.
And to participate in the conference, you must register. It's not like you're just tuning into Facebook. You've got to register to participate.
Yes, you definitely want to register, and that's at hotspotsmagazine.com/men's health. And there you can register for the conference, and eventually you'll get a link, a YouTube link, to watch the conference for free.
And it's 2 full days.
Yes.
Right?
It's the first day is geared towards HIV and AIDS professionals, but anybody can join, whether you're in the community or not. And that's a half a day starting at 9 to 12 p.m. And then Saturday is geared to the community, where we have a lot of different information that appeals to the community and what they can do to prevent HIV or to get educated and treated on HIV and AIDS as well.
I have a quick question. As the trans woman on the panel, do you have anything specifically geared for trans men?
That's good that you mentioned that, because we actually have someone on your staff from Trans Social that will be there named Liam. I don't know if you know Liam.
I know Liam
Yes.
very well.
But Liam will be there, and he will be one of the presenters on Saturday. So yes, we made sure to include all of the people in our community to have a diverse team and panel there.
Fantastic. Is it going to, so it's going to be also interactive? It's going to be presentations and then also interactive?
Yes, there'll be each session, there'll be a Q&A portion where people can actually present their questions and have them answered live.
What I love about...
And I apologize, and actually to your question, very interesting in Jameer's participation, because as coordinator, Hotspots Magazine is the platform for the broadcast, our partner. You know, we're part of the same organization, Hotspots Magazine. But Happening Out Television Network is participating because we're providing the digital implementation of the digital television version of it. And Jameer is going to be sitting right here in this seat as the anchor representative. And so when you ask your questions, etc., Jameer will be here to ensure that all of the doctors and the health professionals shut up long enough to get those questions in the conference.
So you'll be fielding those questions where they are directed for the proper answer?
Yes, exactly. Because sometimes these questions can be challenging, you know, so it's good to have someone direct them, and I'm honored to be able to sit in Al's seat and help with the program and steer it along.
It's absolutely going to be excellent, because if you have anonymity issues, that you want to ask important questions but you don't want to be identified, you'll be able to do that, and Jameer will basically represent the entire South Florida community very well. It's quite an exciting event.
Another great thing about your event would be that, you know, it's going to be showcasing COVID, there's going to be showcasing PrEP, HIV, stuff like that, but you're also going to be targeting workshops on nutrition, yoga, stuff like that, that is often overlooked by our community.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Faye, because it is often overlooked, and it's something that we really wanted to adhere to and include in the conference, because men's wellness isn't just about HIV treatment, education, and prevention. It's also about a well mind, body, and soul. You know, once you feel okay with yourself and you have the mental stamina to really dive into self-care, then you're able to put the blocks in place that need to be put in place, whether you want to get on PrEP or you want to go through treatment or you just want to educate yourself on the process.
Yeah.
Are you also,
Go ahead.
are you also, as someone of a certain age, are you going to be addressing aging issues, whatever health concerns might be?
Senior
involved?
LGBT wants to know.
Thank you, like batting 1,000.
Actually, Dale, that's a good question too, and you guys have great questions, and I'm so happy that you guys are asking these questions because it's something that we thought of in extreme and deep detail. So we're actually touching base on everything, or we're trying to, well as including people in the community as well. As you heard from Al, you know, it's happening. Out is involved. Hotspots is involved. You know, we have the Pride Center, Pride Lines, and so on and so forth. All the Department of Health. So many entities that are involved in the LGBTQ plus community is involved, and aging is one of them. The conference is centered around two major awareness days in the nation. And one of them is Men's National Health Awareness Day, and the other one is Men's HIV and AIDS Aging Awareness Day. So we have, it's centered around both of them, so we're definitely gonna have a session on aging as well.
You know, it's fantastic news because we've learned in our interview with conference coordinator, Jameer, that we've got trans covered. I'm very interested in mental health, and fortunately, we've got elderly issues covered for Dale. So we've got all the bases covered.
And then for Faye, the quote unquote slut that she said earlier, we have the hookup as well. So we have everything.
There's going to be a social event with Gay.
I'm just kidding.
The Social Club on Friday night. It's super interesting. And one more time, we remind you, you must register to participate in the conference, and the conference is completely free. And again, Jameer, tell us where you register to participate.
So if you do want to register for the conference, and you have up until Friday to do so, right up until the actual conference starts at 9 a.m., it would be at hotspotsmagazine.com/men's health.
Excellent. It's going to be a great event. We hope you participate. First time ever it's been done in this way, the South Florida Men's Wellness Conference, and we hope you join us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
We finished tonight's queer news headlines with what we call LGBTQ plus flash news.
LGBTQ plus flash news. JoJo Siwa takes top scores for Dancing with the Stars in historic first same-sex performance ever. After 29 seasons of only allowing opposite-sex pairings to compete, the U.S. version of ABC's hit dance competition, Dancing with the Stars, featured a same-sex pairing for the first time ever this week. Teen pop star JoJo Siwa and dance partner Jenna Johnson performed a quick step to Jet's Are You Gonna Be My Girl? For the season 30 premiere of the long-running show. The couple scored 29 points, which was the top score of the night. And I want to know, between the two of them, who is the one wearing the strap-on?
Wow.
That never crossed my mind.
And I'm trying not to. I love JoJo. She is wonderful. She's very warm. She's young. She's positive, and she is just excellent representation for our community.
Well, I think it's fabulous. I wonder if next season it's going to be two men.
You know, actually, the exciting thing for me is that the two girls are doing it on Dancing with the Stars in America, and also this week on Strictly Dancing in Britain, two men are doing it.
God.
Going on simultaneously.
Okay.
I'm just glad she's not wearing that big old bow on her head while she's dancing. All right. LGBTQ plus flash news. Halloween queen Elvira, the most TITilating woman in horror, just came out. So Cassandra Peterson, the red-headed, sweet soccer mom person under the sexy Mistress of the Dark, Elvira, just released her memoirs, Yours Cruelly, Elvira. In it, she reveals that she has been in a 19-year relationship with Teresa T. Weirson. They met at a gym. How common. And Peterson, and first they met through the trainer. She thought the trainer Weirson was a hot punk guy until she ran into her into the ladies' room. The romantic relationship started after both of their long-term relationships ended. So here at Queer News Tonight, we're happy that not all of Elvira's dreams are unpleasant. Child, you're 104 years old, and now you're gonna come out? Are you serious?
I'm very happy for her, but I would say that relationship probably started in the showers.
I thought we already kind of knew this. I thought she was a lesbian all this time, so I'm kind of like, oh, okay, well, good for you. But I love that she was able to just be herself all these years and just lived normal life how it should be.
I'm going to piggyback on you. I mean, after 19 years in a relationship, I'm happy that she feels comfortable enough to come out.
Remember, please, at Queer News Tonight, we are a news show, and so we uphold to truth above all else. So when we say we've got to correct this story, the most titillating queen in horror is not Elvira, it's Faye Watt.
Yeah.
Faye Watt!
John?
John.
And on that.
John is stuck on my boobs now.
LGBTQ plus flash news, SFGN. Progress continues on 10th anniversary of Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal. The following story is from an article I wrote for Queer News Tonight partner South Florida Gay News. 10 years ago this week, the odious policy known as Don't Ask, Don't Tell, DADT, came to an end. The law prevented gay people from serving openly in the military. People who went public with their sexuality were kicked out, no matter how distinguished their service. Enacted in the 1990s, DADT was created to stop witch hunts of suspected homosexuals, meaning if you stayed in the closet and kept quiet, you'd be left alone. American Veterans for Equal Rights, or AVER, America's oldest LGBT veterans service organization, hailed the anniversary of the repeal, telling me AVER celebrates as important civil rights milestone, and we honor the long and determined grassroots effort by service members and veterans, men and women, to overturn the nearly 100-year-old policies that denied freedom to serve LGBT soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, and Coast Guard men. We acknowledge the diverse efforts, strategies, struggles, and sacrifices by many individuals and organizations that led to the repeal of the discriminatory DADT law, end quote. You can get more of my story in tomorrow's South Florida Gay News.
Wow, I think it's a wonderful thing. You know, those people went to fight for our country too. And I think they're finally getting their just due, and I'm so thankful about that. Gay or not gay?
Dishonorably discharged through this policy in its anniversary. The impact of this story and the VA's decision to say we're going to restore their protective participation is beyond gigantic. 100,000 service people were affected by Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So the news is absolutely fantastic. And a great story too, by the way, John.
I think it's disgusting that Don't Ask, Don't Tell even existed. And I'm so glad that, I can't believe it's been 10 years and, you know, that was the right move to turn that around. That it's just ridiculous that was even in state.
Yeah, it's heartening news because there's so much bad news that we are experiencing in the LGBTQ plus community across the world. So this is at least some good news that feels uplifting.
Man.
Uplifting, that's what we are. So that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing, ring the bell for updates, share this news with your friends and your family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories are about our community. They deserve to get attention with your family and friends. Post it.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television program in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. And that is the passion of the Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm Al Ferguson, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Dale Stine, Raji Narayan Singh, and John Hayden. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.
What? Huh? Oh, that view of the door is so scary. I could hardly keep my eyes open through most of it. Well, anyway, that's about it. The 10 weirdest, strangest, most bizarre videos of all time, and you saw them here with me on MTV. I think I better get on out of Salem before they decide to have another witch hunt. I trust you enjoyed your little trip. I know I did. Till then, here's something to hold you over. Mwah! Hope you had a safe, insane Halloween, and, oh yeah, unpleasant dreams.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies.